Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, I'm Karyn. My channel is a lifestyle channel. It has everything to do with fitness, nutrition, skincare, beauty, hormones, all over health and wellness as you're aging. I mean, I'm 54 and I've sort of kind of been on the whole anti-aging, bandwagon for quite a while. I'm lucky that I had the forethought, and I kind of knew that if I didn't take care of myself, then I probably wouldn't be that happy when I got a little older. And now that I'm in my 50s, I'm so grateful that I can go to the beach and feel great in a bathing suit, and I can reach into my closet and grab a dress and not feel like, oh, I'm too fat to wear that. What I'm going to do today is talk to you about my history, and then we'll make a meal and you can see if you like it and make it on your own. My history is basically I am 54 years old and I have pretty much battled my weight my whole life. Once I turned 13 and started going through puberty, I started packing on the pounds. I think I gained 30 pounds in 3 years. So that's a lot of weight, and all of a sudden I went from being a cute young kid to this kind of chubby teenager, which I just was not fat and happy. I was fat and miserable. Well, for me, it became something that I needed to just fix. Like I couldn't live like that. Luckily for me, I got into teaching aerobics when they called it aerobics, and I taught for 25 years. And so that was really great because it got me into the whole fitness part of it, but the more you get into fitness, the more you get into nutrition. So the two typically go hand in hand, and it definitely did for me. So over the years, I did a lot of different things. Everybody did the fat-free craze. I think that was back in the 80s, and then it was the Atkins, and now it's just, I don't really do anything specific like keto or paleo or any specific diet. What I do is I try to find foods that I like and I really enjoy eating, because I'm not going to eat something if I don't like it, that's closest to its natural form. So that's pretty much what I do, and it works for me. My weight stays pretty much the same all year round, which I really like, and like I said, I like what I eat. I never feel deprived. So I've been pretty good about finding different types of substitutes for like flour products. I don't eat any white flour at all, but for a while, first I got off of white flour, and I was eating quinoa flour and different types of flours to make muffins and things like that with. My very first video that I have done on YouTube is a flourless low-fat chocolate chip cookie. And so the reason I did that was because I don't eat flour, and for me it really helps keep the weight off. A couple of things that I like to do is I like to measure. Typically I don't measure fruit necessarily or vegetables, but I kind of eyeball it. Like I try to do like maybe a quarter of a cup of fruit at a meal, and maybe like half a cup of vegetables, because they do have carbohydrates in them, and fruit has a lot of sugar, and it's natural sugar and it's really great for you, but you don't want to overeat fruit. And they say that you can eat as many green vegetables as you want, but some of the vegetables that have like a higher glycemic index in it, like carrots or that sort of thing, you definitely don't want to eat too much of that. So today what I'm going to do is tell you the sequence of foods that I eat. So I always eat my fruit first. Fruit is easily digested. So if you eat fruit first, then it's going to kind of pave the way for the rest of the food to digest better and more efficiently. But if you eat the other foods first and then you eat the fruit last, which a lot of people feel like they should because it's like a dessert, then it digests really quickly and it sort of ferments on the top of the rest of your food, and it gives you kind of a bellyache. And I am the queen of bellyaches. I mean, I don't have a great gut health. I take care of my gut, but I have a really bad history of taking oral antibiotics years ago for acne, and they didn't know that you couldn't take it, for 10 or 13 years at a time, which I did. It worked out okay because my skin looks pretty good, but I don't have any acne scars, but my gut, definitely paid for it. So anyway, if you want to try to feel, good after you eat and not feel gassy or bloated, eat your fruit first, and that will really help. And then the other thing that's super important to me is buying things that are organic. If you're buying foods that are not organic, that you're not peeling or don't have a thick skin that you're gonna cut off, then you really should. And organic is super, super important. They're putting so many pesticides on fruits and vegetables, and I mean, they say like strawberries have over 26 different kinds of pesticides on it. So think about all that you're ingesting and what it's doing to you. And, I mean, I don't know about you, but I think about, there's all these autoimmune deficiencies now. Like people have this autoimmune problem and other people have, cancer, and there's all these things that are coming up that we never even heard of before. So the only thing I can think of is maybe it's from the pesticides. So if you try to be more mindful of what you're buying for food, then you're probably going to be better off. But if it's something with a thick skin, like if you buy bananas and the organic bananas are really expensive and the regular bananas aren't, then get the regular bananas, because you're going to peel that skin off anyway, and probably the pesticides won't make it that far down. Or like a pineapple, or something like that. Or if it's I mean, potatoes have really thin skin, so I'd always buy organic potatoes. But if it's something like broccoli or peppers or strawberries or blueberries or something you're just going to rinse off and eat, and you're not going to peel or get rid of the skin on top of it, then definitely buy it organic. That's my personal suggestion. So you might want to try doing that if you haven't started already. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an egg crepe, and I'm going to have some strawberries and some red pepper and broccoli. And since I normally, when I make like an egg crepe, I'll do one egg, and I do eat the yolk. Sometimes I don't. It just depends on how lean I'm feeling, and if I want to cut out the yolk and cut out that 5 grams of fat or not. But if I don't feel like it matters, like I'll just eat the whole egg. Plus I'll add some egg whites to it to pump up the protein. Eggs don't really have that much protein. They only have about 6 to 8 grams of protein, I think. So, but in lieu of that, like today I didn't have egg whites in my refrigerator. I typically get like a big box of them at Costco, and I always have them on hand. But I ran out and I haven't gotten back to Costco. So instead of egg whites, I'm doing edamame. So I did 1/4 cup of edamame. What my rule of thumb is for eating stuff and having to have good gut health, because I've always had to kind of battle that. Like I've always had, a stomach ache after I ate, and when I was younger, it felt like it was more because I ate too much. But I was also eating a lot of flour, and I was eating dairy. So I don't really eat much dairy. I do eat yogurt, and my favorite yogurt is the Chobani yogurt, and that's total dairy, but for some reason it doesn't seem to bother me. I am technically lactose intolerant, but that's about the only dairy I eat. And if I eat cheese, I'll eat goat cheese. So that's not technically dairy. So, rarely do I eat, anything else that's, dairy, like sour cream or cheese or milk or anything like that. I have hemp milk that I like to use, which I think is really great. My girlfriend Julie turned me on to that about 3 years ago, and that's been really great. And I do drink soy and almond and coconut and all that sort of thing, because I like to get different nutrients from different types of milks and different types of food. So I do eat a wide variety of food. I try to incorporate a lot of different things into my diet, but I tend to stay away from flour and dairy. And I tend to try to stay away from gluten too, but I'm not gluten intolerant, and I don't do completely gluten free. I try to stay super low. I probably eat 80% less gluten than I used to, but every once in a while I'll eat something with gluten in it. So anyway, let's get started. So I'm gonna cook the egg, and I'll show you how I prepare the little egg crepe. I know there's kind of a glare here. So these are really great because they're only 8 calories a piece, but I use 2 of them, because if you just use one of them, they're too thin, and the egg breaks right through the damn thing, so you're looking like, weird eating it. So definitely use 2. Then you feel like you're a normal person eating a normal tortilla. One of the things that I always do is measure. I'm really into measuring. I think if you measure foods, especially foods that are high in fat or high in calorie, then you're gonna be better off. Like I didn't need to measure these strawberries, but I did for you. So I did 1/2 cup of strawberries. I mean, strawberries, it seems like you can eat 1 million of them, and it's fine because they're pretty low in calories and sugar and that sort of thing. And it's natural sugar. And then I did some vegetables. I did broccoli and some red pepper, which I really like. And I like to eat my vegetables raw if I can. I eat a lot of salads, and I do cook my vegetables sometimes, But you know, if you cook them on too high of a heat, you lose all the nutrients. So it's one of those things, if I can eat it by itself, or I mean, not by itself, but you know, if I can eat them raw, I do. That's the other thing. And then what I've done is I'm gonna do on my vegetables, I'm gonna put some hummus and some salsa. And so both of these are really good. I got this at Sprouts, sorry, there's a glare. And I also got this at Sprouts. And so this is roasted red pepper hummus, and I mix it with the salsa, and it's really, really good on vegetables. So that's what I like to do. And then I might put a little salsa on the egg white. So I'm gonna prepare the egg, and then I'll show you the finished product. So I put this meal all together, and it actually turned out really pretty. It's a beautiful plate of food. So what I did was I did strawberries, broccoli, and red pepper, and then I mixed salsa and hummus together, which I think tastes really great on vegetables, especially if you're gonna eat raw vegetables. And then I did 1/4 cup of edamame so that it could pump up the protein in the meal, because I only had eggs. I didn't have any egg whites, and typically when I do eggs, I always add extra egg whites for more protein. But I hadn't gotten to Costco, so I didn't have the egg whites, so I did the edamame instead. And I actually had a little extra avocado left over. This was 1/4 of an avocado, and it was a good size avocado, but I typically don't eat much more than 1/4 of an avocado in a meal. Just because, you know, I mean, they're a little higher in fat, and it's natural fat, of course, but it's just like anything else. You know, if your body is not burning all the fat, then you're not gonna lose weight or maintain your weight if that's what you're looking to do. And that's what I'm looking to do, is maintain my weight and sometimes lose a little bit more. So then I have an egg and the egg crepe and the avocado, and then I also put this chili lime powder on it so it can cut down on the salt intake. I got this at Trader Joe's. I don't know if you have a Trader Joe's in your area, but I love Trader Joe's. And they have this, it's like really cheap and super natural, and it's great. This is the finished product, and I swear once you eat all this, you will not be hungry. You're not gonna feel like you need anything more after this, but definitely eat your fruit first, and then you don't have to eat your vegetables second. You can eat them whenever you want, but eat the fruit first and then have at it. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was, if you notice, I have a lot of different foods, different types of food. Lots of times I notice people will say, I eat cereal in the morning. So they eat one thing and they have some milk, so that's 2. Or they will have oatmeal, or they will have eggs. So they'll have, you know, one kind of food, or they'll make avocado toast and they have bread and avocado, and that's all they're having. So they're not getting, you know, all the different types of nutrients that they need. And the problem with that too is you'll be hungrier faster if you're not incorporating vegetables into your meals and a little bit of fruit. So if you can do a little bit of fruit and definitely vegetables at every meal, and then your protein, then it's gonna hold you over for longer, and you're gonna get all the nutrients that you need. So you're gonna be healthier and happier. But remember, try to do organic. That's super, super important, and always try to measure out your food, and that will make all the difference in the world. This meal is about 400 calories. It's got about 10 grams of fat, has about 20 grams of protein, and it's very low in sugar. I don't know exactly how many grams of sugar is in here. It's 1/2 cup of strawberries, but there's really no sugar in anything else. So it's really a great meal. It's something that I really like, but I don't eat it every day. I eat different things all the time, but it's one of my favorites, and hopefully you'll try it at home. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked my video, please give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And when you're down there, ring the bell so you know when my next video is uploaded. Every Tuesday at noon, we upload a new video. So hopefully you enjoyed it, and I really appreciate you watching. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye. See you next time.